bad. Sexy red, bad ass. Don't play no game. It's a party, and we turn it all the way.
It's a gangster party, bitch.
It's a gangster party. Get your shit together.
Baby Boosie was just the center of a huge controversy, but the truth always comes out in the end. This is a digital disaster, not merely theater, and his private life is a mere footnote. Got tossed out onto the streets along with last week's garbage, and let me tell you, the dirt is revolting. He appeared entirely exposed in the released footage, and many are yelling about it. His name is suddenly everywhere. One second he's relaxing, and the next he's in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Hot and red.
Said she the modern day Boosie, man.
Yeah, I saw that. What you think?
I mean, I feel like she gave me my flowers, like I say. Like, I feel like she really gave me my flowers because Sexyy red from the...
Let's now take a moment to support it. After Boosie was found becoming unduly happy when Sexyy Red arrived, the internet went into frenzy. She stepped in wearing a figure-hugging, figure-flattering outfit. She didn't even conceal any of them. He gave off the idea that he had won the lotto by pretending to be Boosie Man and temptation itself.
I need all the talk because Big Sexy. I'm coming to see all the bandits. I love the real. I know Boosie can bring.
This is when things swiftly took a turn for the worst. The man's eyes were huge, his mouth fell, and he was not masking his thankfulness. The video went popular on social media, and the detectives online signed in for duty, but they weren't when he was playing. Many remarked he seemed captured, and his face gave off a straight line. Not that he was merely surprised. Things started to go south once I lost my energy, and then there were boom rumors. Caught fire. Now that the chronology has blown, everyone is analyzing the real events between Boosie and Sexyy Red.
Like, what's going on? So yeah, we both went to the doctor. Yeah, we went to the doctor together. And then we both was like, well, you f*** people. And he's like, you two people too. I'm like,
Nowadays, many on the internet are suggesting that whatever occurred between Boosie and Sexyy Red had to be more than a casual relationship, since Boosie is acting as though the harm is done. And the way the streets are speaking makes it seem like the entire thing blew up in his face. He's out here attempting to gather the bits. Behind the scenes, things get pretty hectic here. There have been suggestions that Sexyy Red may be providing Boosie something akin to what some believe she did with other folks in the past. Well, even with Boosie, there's more. Suffering a full online meltdown recently, he hasn't contested anything, not even a tweet, post, or even a that's cap. And it's making people look at him oddly. You could practically feel the switch flip in him that night. As soon as he spotted her, the mood transformed instantaneously. After boosting her up like she was the queen of the South, the glow on his face is gone, and he's all over the place erasing tweets and going ghost. It's like someone pressed the drunken reset button and he was relaxing 1 second, then grinning like he had won the jackpot. When she entered the room, his expression spoke as if he already knew what was going on.
I mean, all is my boyfriend. That's period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, I got a lot of boyfriends. I'm just... No, don't say that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was your man.
This isn't your average cleaning scenario. It's full-blown panic mode.
The OnlyFans star, what happened between you and Gucci Third Leg? I wouldn't test positive for HSV2 unless you had HSV2. If you gave me HSV1 genitally, I would test positive for HSV1, but just have it in my genitals. So, but I don't have HSV.
And just when you thought everything was getting under control, the situation grew even sexier. It seems like the heat has merely increased because Red's name has already been mentioned in some very dubious conversations recently. According to some of the loudest rumors, she was seen going quite close to Gucci's third leg. Yep, him. As soon as her name was mentioned, the internet went into full-on detective mode. This wasn't just a side-eye situation. They were following every move as if it were a live, uncut episode of a scandal show. The same guy, according to online reports, has been out here passing things around like mixtapes. Inquiries that look to be extremely uncomfortable. Wait, is she out here spreading more than just positive energy? People inquired as conspiracy theories emerged from every part of the timeline. And who's responsible for the rumors if there is even the tiniest possibility that she was connected to Gucci while he was reportedly doing the most? Only grew, and then came the most recent rumor that Uzi might be going to the clinic next. Yes, that rumor went viral online like a truck without brakes, and if it turns out to be true, it's not just gossip. Let's not forget that Boosie and Sexyy Red had people talking before this, so who can recall when she posted the renowned photograph of the unknown person lying in bed with his ankle monitor on and everything. Yes, that moment made time seem to freeze, and it now looks to be the start of this tumultuous trip.
Gloss brand, and the name for my lip gloss is something that nobody would have ever thought of. I got one called Nut, and it's the color of some nut. I got one called Gonorrhea. It's green like gonorrhea. I got one called Yellow Discharge, like how girls be having yellow discharge. Hole pink, booty hole brown, coochie juice. And coochie juice is clear with silver glitter. It's cute like.
As soon as the photo came online, it was like a bomb was blown and fingers instantly starting pointing directly at Boosie and Sexyy Red. She wasn't going to play subtle either, and she went all wild with it, tweeting, "Shake your dread. I like toying with drillers," as a caption. King dreadheads without a filter, no covert criticism, only direct attacks. The body type, the room atmosphere, the lighting, and the fact that the ankle monitor seemed so familiar that fans were dissecting the situation as if it were a true crime documentary. People weren't speculating, they were connecting dots in full detective mode. The quiet of boy, he wasn't keeping quiet for long either, as he returned to his old Twitter account with a swagger, ready for battle. He posted, "I'm blocking everybody tagging me in that pic with Sexyy Red that's not even the pic," which made it clear to everyone that this wasn't just a flirtatious tease, but a direct attack. Boosie. "My ankle's color or size." Yes, he went there and made a rushed attempt to dispute the accusations by stating that he was on vacation with his daughter at the time the photo was taken, but everybody knew Boosie had murdered it. An ankle monitor before, and the timeline flashed once again when they collected the receipts, but the numbers didn't add up.
Because my friend, she had gonorrhea, and she called me and told me about it, and then I'm like, I was in the midst of making some lip gloss. She told me what color it was green, so I'm like, you got no green lip gloss, I'm gonna make you some green lip gloss.
Don't listen. She can't do nothing to play bad about. I ain't gonna read about what this star said. I'll be looking at the way she dressed.
And just when everyone thought things couldn't get any more wild, boom, another bomb went off. It turns out that Sexyy Red had just been blown up by her own ex, and that calamity still made people cringe. You might want to rethink, knowing that the entire Sexyy Red and intoxicated scenario is really a weird web craze. A few months ago, her ex-boyfriend came out with claims that completely upended the timeline. He openly claimed that she supplied him. He remained silent about something crucial until it had already happened, but he wasn't simply talking poorly. He supplied receipts and screenshots to prove the chronological facts like an experienced pro. Yes, and as if that weren't enough, he also taped a full-on phone call in which she incriminated. His call had him losing all self-control and yelling, "Do all you folks realize what's really going on with you? Do you lie to them as you lied to me, or do you genuinely tell them you're scorching?" Fans were unable to observe anything the same after that audio got viral, not even those previously popular vids, which were neither sensual nor intoxicated.
You got HPV? I bet she done had chlamydia, gonorrhea, trigonometry, tryouts, and whatever else that pussy can.
And this wasn't some behind-the-scenes drama. Rather, it was loud, raw, and direct from the gut. Her ex wasn't whispering. Instead, he was heated up and definitely felt betrayed. You could hear the anger, grief, and wrath that doesn't simply arise out of nowhere. The man didn't sugarcoat anything. Instead, he let it all out as if he wanted the world to experience what he felt. The audio then leaked online, and it sounded like a full-on breakdown from someone who had been holding in too much for far too long. It was like tossing gasoline on a fire. Sexyy Red's name was trending everywhere. Internet detectives were working hard, and people weren't just listening. They were dissecting the conversation as if it were a court case, but Sexyy Red wasn't staying. Quiet anyway, she got online and swiftly answered with a clapback. Let's face it, by the time she announced that the timeline had already been pulled and people had heard that man's voice chatter as he caught the weight. 1, that's not factual. 2, you believe anything on this app. Maybe this situation is deeper than it looks, he replied and began to ponder. To put it bluntly, whatever was going on with Boosie was just one messy piece of a way. And by the time people started voicing their opinions, Sexyy Red's image was already suffering greatly. Fans were searching through old receipts, dragging out previous interviews, and connecting the dots to paint a messy picture. Larger puzzle, wasn't the first time she'd been involved in drama, and Boosie wasn't alone either. Prior to this current circus, her own ex had already revealed some crazy things, and that wasn't even the only time she was caught slipping. In fact, Sexyy Red kind of snitched on herself without even trying. Keep it hidden, no cap. She spilled her own tea as if it were nothing. This wasn't a leaked text or a hacked communication. It was all her on the microphone, front and center, on Angela Yee's Lip Service podcast back in June 2023. Red took a seat, looked directly into the microphone, and spoke her mind loudly and proudly without hesitation or inhibition. Acknowledged that she had contracted chlamydia twice, and the way she stated it, as though discussing the weather, she claimed that it had occurred when she and her ex were still dating and he was out here heavily cheating and acting wild. They broke up, but they quickly got back together as if nothing had happened after playing around with other people because they thought it would be cool. To give it another go, but here's the twist. They both went to the clinic before reconnecting, and boom, positive results. This isn't just blog rumors. She told it like it was just another Tuesday, as if testing positive was work. And, for a brief moment, the entire internet stopped. People couldn't believe how casual she looked. We all make errors, but when you add up all of this chaos, the pattern doesn't seem good at all. Just when many assumed she may rest for a bit and let the smoke clear, she didn't do that. Like the pandemonium let her shine brighter, Red transformed the entire issue into a moment of attention.
Ain't get rid of it. If you with somebody that got this, while they having an outbreak, then you can contract it. But if you don't, you won't contract it. Why you lie? Do all your niggas know what's going on with you? Do you tell them that you burn me? Or do you lie to them like you did me? Or did you lie to you did me? Or did you lie? Or did you lie to me? Did you lie?
By the time the internet blew up, Sexyy Red's reputation was hurting considerably as people weren't only chatting. Instead, they were finding connections, obtaining receipts, and disclosing more layers to this entire problem. Let's be honest, this wasn't Sexyy Red's first brush with drama, and Boosie isn't the only person whose name has been associated to hers in the past. That made Boosie's problem look to be only one piece of a much broader jigsaw. This most recent blast her ex had previously made her business public, and it wasn't the first time she was caught slipping. In fact, Sexyy Red kind of disclosed her own business without even attempting to conceal it. When she went on Angela Yee's Lip Service podcast in June 2023, she disclosed everything without holding back or feeling guilty. She stared directly into the microphone and said that she had caught chlamydia twice, breaking it down like it was just another Tuesday, and she was still with her ex, who was out and about making mischief behind her back. They split up, but they later went back and sought to fix things, and out of caution, they went to the clinic together and learned that they had both tested positive once more. No, it wasn't from a gossip blog. Her followers were utterly caught away by the tale she gave, and they were frozen in disbelief. Summarizes a film without giving away anything crucial, and although it's true that errors are made by people, we're all fallible. It's tough to overlook a pattern when you compare all these moments side by side, and just when you think Sexyy Red may back off. The internet was confused whether to laugh, weep, or shut down the entire app when she made it into a spotlight moment. The comment sections grew hot, and subtweets flew everywhere, but suddenly, then Lord Jamar emerged and stated the quiet section aloud. He wasn't accusing her explicitly. Rather, he was displaying what he said was a greater machine behind her. Sexyy Red isn't just wild, he commented. He argued that she was being used. He came out swinging, stating that she's being nasty, and this whole issue is part of a much wider trend in the business that rewards instability, poor judgments, and shock value above anything real. As he put it, she represents everything toxic about where culture is going. This is a nefarious goal led by corporate puppeteers. He indicated emphatically that her ascension wasn't natural. As his words were going to take fire, guess who appeared to co-sign Vaughn from 1700? He didn't simply agree. He claimed that it's a deliberate, purposeful plot to deflect attention and undermine authentic culture from inside. Van noted very simply that Sexyy Red didn't seem to be someone who energized a place when she arrived. He claimed that something felt weird as soon as she stepped in. But Van's next revelation had everyone doing with a start. He exclaimed to Jamar, "That's brave of you." And the reason for it was when Jamar revealed that he had seen a video apparently showing Sexyy Red confessing that her area didn't smell well. Genuinely existed or not didn't even matter anymore. The word was spreading through the streets like gospel, and Jamar stood on it as if it were true, claiming, I saw the video where she stated it herself, and that alone was enough to get the entire internet in a frenzy. But Jamar wasn't finished. Nope, he went deeper than anyone thought when he disclosed that he thinks Sexyy Red may be an industry plant. Yes, he delivered the bomb personally, alleging that she was put deliberately by higher-ups propaganda that normalizes broken relationships and exalts struggle, promotes irresponsible decisions, and even discreetly references to drugs, which, in his opinion, was being done to transform the society. Become something empty from the inside out. But Sexyy Red wasn't about to stand by and allow her moniker to be exploited without retaliating. Rather of hitting back at Vaughn or Jamar with an unanticipated curveball, she added, "Ask Chief Keef if my stuff stinks." Wait, what? When supporters began creating new connections, the internet seemed to halt, as if everyone had pressed pause. Why bring up Chief Keef at that specific moment? And suddenly it wasn't just about Vaughn or Boosie anymore. Chief Keef's name being tossed into this mayhem brought everything to a whole new level, and it didn't end there. Not shortly later, photographs surfaced up showing Sexyy Red genuine, comfy with Chief Keef booted up, flaunting his chain like it was a prize, because let's be honest, when someone's wearing your ice in pics, that's far more than just pleasant feelings, that's a crisis. But Sexyy Red sought to shut it down immediately. She posted Instagram stating she and Chief Keef were like siblings, but come on, nobody with working eyes was believing that narrative. The way they were set up, it wasn't sibling energy. That was sheer locked-in energy. And then, just to make the chronology erupt all over again, Sexyy Red started cracking jokes about Chief Keef sneaking into King Von's sister's DMs. She brushed it off like it was nothing, claiming he was messaging Caleb B. But how are you going to laugh about him attempting to holler at another female while stating y'all are simply like family? You can't say it's all love and innocent, and then be tossing out jokes about DM drama. It isn't adding up. Rising.
See, man, she kinda right. Because people respect my ratchetness. You might not like it, but you respect it. I'm not hiding nothing.
And then there was the moment that made everyone scoff. Red didn't only tease people. She went all out and began exposing Chief Keef's personal exploits. Fans weren't buying the merely buddies narrative at all, and you could see the difference as soon as everyone discovered that the sibling discussion was a falsehood. Social media was fire once more because, let's face it, siblings don't move like that. When it looked that the hubbub was finally quiet, Sexyy Red reappeared with even more fervor, writing on Instagram as if she wasn't finished yet. This time, instead of just stretching Chief Keef's chain around her neck, she turned it up to 100. She then put the chain into her underpants, delivering a clear message that he was now hers. Then with a message that said, "Now let's go together," she kissed me and rapidly. Then came the actual twist. Chief Keef showed up to her music video shoot like he was the guest of honor. Normally, that man keeps it cool and moves low-key, but the way he showed up was pure energy, which was clear in how comfortable and calm he was, as if he felt he belonged there. That statement alone lit the timeline on fire in July, and the responses were so passionate that users couldn't scroll quickly enough. Charleston White came in just when you thought the chaos could grow much louder. If there's one thing Charleston is going to do, it's to speak his opinions without any filter. He made everyone stop scrolling with a heated take, calling Sexyy Red a 304. You know what that means, and claimed that she was bringing people into her storm, not just anyone. He especially called out Angel Reese, the emerging basketball sensation. Sexyy Red's crazy energy isn't only creating headlines, he claimed, it's also influencing others. He stated Angel Reese was entirely focused on her task, dominating the court and creating her brand with power movements and great discipline, but that all changed once she began hanging with Sexyy Red. In his perspective, she moved from being the focus of attention to becoming the topic of side drama.
Sexyy Red looked like the type of girls like back in the days, like you walk in the room and you be like, smell like somebody was f***ing in here. See the video where she said her own was naked. Did you see that?
Angel Reese's vibe altered rapidly once she began hanging out with Sexyy Red. She moved from being a collegiate champion to an online sensation overnight. In training, her look got bolder, her content became louder, and her tranquil athletic confidence evolved into continual spotlight intensity. Charleston White didn't sidestep the subject. Instead, he called it what he saw and confronted it frankly. It wasn't subtle, it was a shift. Angel Ree wasn't the same girl who was locked in and worked hard on the court. To cap it all off, he offered a strange question. Why gonorrhea? Yes, he said, and it led others to pause, rewind, and question what he was trying to communicate. The atmosphere began to take over, as if Sexyy Red was controlling everyone around her. Charleston even painted the scene as though Angel had dropped her basketball bag and picked up a trend-chasing guidebook. When that sort of debate got viral, discussions, films, and speculations concerning timeline explosion were flying once again. And now it seems evident why Boosie has been acting weirdly lately. His entire manner has been off. The loudmouth confidence he's always had is wobbly now, and the jokes have slowed down. The vibe shifted, and whether it's in interviews on social media or during his live performances, people can smell it from the streets to the media. Everyone agrees that he isn't moving like himself. And now that this hot red situation is out, everything is beginning to make perfect sense. Boosie's silence isn't random, according to sources. It's the consequences from the stolen information. This isn't just rumor, it's developing into a full-blown domino effect. The video, and let's not play coy, struck the net like a full grenade. People stopped whispering and speculating what may have occurred once they viewed the photographs. Now that it's out there, it's being linked to Sexyy Red, whose name is bouncing from controversy to scandal like clockwork, and Boosie. He's already had enough controversy, so he didn't need any more. The weird aspect is that he hasn't spoken since the video was aired, and let's be honest, Boosie's quiet is louder than any diatribe he has ever uploaded. Word is that he is under so much strain that he may leave the scene for a bit to let the dust to settle because, let's face it, he is getting wrapped. Meeting someone involved in health rumors, crazy hookups, and full-time social media storms is not a light circumstance. Most persons would jump out immediately away. He appeared to have jumped straight in and been captured, so we need to hear what you think. Rumors regarding Boosie's health have been tormenting Sexyy Red behind the scenes the entire time. If you're still here, share this with your friends and family. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join the Star Hush Squad. The actual deal or someone aiming to harm her reputation? Was that leaked video showing more than people were really prepared to handle? I hope you don't miss any of this chaos. I'll see you in the next.